Ay, Dios mío. That is difficult of an ask as trying to get between the legs of the Duchess of Cambridge. Huh! Hello, everyone. This is Mihaela with Art of Experiencing. On behalf of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, we demand all the footage surrounding the near catastrophic car chase in New York be provided to us immediately. Huh! Huh! To get the Duchess on the stage of Broadway, just a few minutes around the corner from where they happen to be, accepting an unmerited award. For the purpose of today's episode, I decided that I was going to dress into this military uniform, which reminds me very much of the incident that took place in New York with the duo from Montecito, accompanied by the mother, Meghan's mother, Doria, the trio of Montecito. That's how I feel that it should begin. I cannot believe that was the demand that was made by the lawyers of Meghan and Prince Harry to backgrid, to provide all the footage, to provide all the pictures surrounding the fabricated car chase that actually Meghan and Harry made up. The reason why they wanted that footage and they wanted the pictures and everything that has to do with it is because they recognized very early on that if the footage comes out, which it did, it will show that they manipulated and maneuvered their car with their security to be able to be seen by more people. The audiences from inside the place where the unmerited non-award event that she received was not sufficient. Nobody was talking about it. Nobody knew what the award was for. Because if somebody keeps getting awards for things they do not do, and they keep coming out of Montecito Palace to be able to consume and get those awards for non-work, for nothing that she's ever done, it becomes a non-event, as this one was. More so, I believe Meghan was the one who created the event. I'm so sure. I don't know if Prince Harry, yeah, he's also capable when you think about it, for somebody to have written. But again, I don't know. Did he write Spare? Was he the ghost writer to the ghost writer to the main ghost writer, which would have been Meghan? In the way that the century was used in the book, it must have been Meghan. It makes a lot of sense that it must have been Meghan who wrote Spare, because the way that she talks on the stage, even at this non-event where she accepts this non-award given by these women that are considering her to be a feminist, which I have no idea how that makes any sense. I don't even know what I'm saying. I could not believe I was hearing within the last couple of days, there's a lot of taking aim at Princess Catherine. And I was so curious to see, I was so curious to see what this was about. So one of the aims that was taken was in the series on Amazon Prime, which is called Citadel with Stanley Tucci. I don't know what Stanley Tucci is doing in such a horrible series. Everything is so predictable. There's nothing original about the telling of the stories, of the story having to do with spies and agents and amnesia, flashbacks 10 years prior to the present time, without any of the characters having anything change in themselves physically, with their physicality. It's one of those like really, really general telling of the story that's been told 100 and a billion times over and over, without any way of telling it in a new, surprising, original way. And one of the actors, besides Stanley Tucci and some other ones that I recognize, but I don't know the names, is one of the best friend of Meghan Markle, the actress that's married to one of the Jonas brothers, Priyanka Chopra. Jonas. I guess she took on I don't know if she took on the name. I don't even know. But I wanted to watch it. And I think the reason why, I think the only reason that people are watching it, because after watching the first episode for 10 minutes, seeing everything that's wrong with it, this is not acting the way that acting should be done in something that Stanley Tucci is in. Stanley Tucci, I consider him to be a great, great actor. He's a great actor. But to see him in this, you have expectations because he is a fantastic actor. And then you're like, why did you take this job? And I'm sure he took it because of the money. I'm sure. The script is so predictable. It's so expositional. They think that you are stupid watching. So they explain to you in their dialogue, in the dialogue between the characters, they explain the story to you just in case you might miss it, just in case you're as stupid as they consider you to be stupid. One of the places they're attempting to take aim at beautiful Princess Catherine. And I was so curious to see what it was. So I actually could not watch the first and the second episode to get to the third, where this aim is. I had to like fast forward and get to that line. So the dialogue is between the main character, this guy, I don't know the name of the actor, and another character. There's a conversation about the first character wanting to get a favor from the second character. So the first character says, I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember exactly the lines, but he says something like, I want you to help me to get to the chief of the armed forces. I want you to help me to get into the office of the chief of the armed forces. I'm laughing because it's so badly acted. I'm sorry. And the other character says, with some other lines in between, remember, I'm just paraphrasing. The other character's response is, I can't believe I'm doing this. The other character's response is trying to keep a straight face, because if this was a satiric, farcical series, then it would be funny. That's how bad the writing is. It should have been conveyed with these characters and with the actors to make it funny, because that's how exaggerated in their wanting to take it serious it is. That if they would actually allow the subtext to be, this script is such mediocre writing and we're going to say the lines having that subtext underneath, then it would have been funny. But they're trying to make it seem like it's serious writing. So the scene goes, one character says to the other character, serious matter, I want you to help me to get into the office. I can't do it. Okay. I want you to help me to get into the office of the chief of the armed forces. The other character responds, you're asking me to do something that's as difficult as trying to get in between the legs of Duchess of Cambridge. That's as difficult a task as if you're asking me how to get between the legs of Duchess of Cambridge. And they're serious when they're saying that. There's nobody laughing. Their reaction between each other is not like, oh, that was a funny joke, trying to mock the now Princess of Wales, Princess Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge. You're actually mocking yourselves doing this horrible script of a series, Citadel. It is so bad. I cannot believe that these people producing, and they have the money and they have the means and they have everything that they need to be able to create. They have choice of hundreds and hundreds of actors to choose from. And they come up with such creative garbage. The line that's supposed to be putting down Princess of Wales, Duchess of Cambridge before when they're actually mocking themselves by how horrible the series and the writing is. It is so bad. I think the reason they had to put such a line in the script is because they realized they need something that has to do with the royals. They have to put themselves in proximity to something with one of the royals. And I'm not talking about the non-royals in Montecito, the real royals, to get audiences to watch this Citadel series. They did it as a favor to themselves because they knew that I and people like me, simple people, audience member, were going to be curious when the news came out that they're going to attack, they're taking a aim at Princess Catherine. So of course I went and I watched it, and I spent I don't know how many minutes trying to fast forward because I couldn't even watch the whole thing. I couldn't even watch to get to the third episode. It's one of those horrible series where the action happens, like I said, over a period of 10 years, flashbacks to now 10 years later, and nothing has changed physically with the characters. Not even like a gray hair, not even a wrinkle added on this face. Those details that are missing from the beginning, and the fact that they're narrating instead of just having a dialogue, having a conversation, the characters have narrations between them because they want to be able to make sure that we understand. They think that their writing is so complicated that we're not going to be able to get it, when it's actually the opposite. It's so badly done that you watch and you go, you should be mocking yourselves. This should be a satire. This should be a farce. And the best line that you have in the whole thing, from what I've seen, is the line about you imagining or saying how difficult it would be to get between the legs of Duchess of Cambridge, the now Princess of Wales, Catherine. That's a compliment. That's a compliment. So many people are still taking aims at Prince William and Princess Catherine lately. Another one was from The Little Mermaid that's going to come out, the Disney movie, where supposedly there's a scene where the mermaid, and then I was thinking Meghan Markle with that golden Oscar looking dress going through this Hertz rental car chase. The only chase that could have happened was at Hertz with cars. And even there, I mean, there were posters of cars on the walls, but there was not even a chase at Hertz. Chase at Hertz. She was matching the outfit of the same color of the company of renting car Hertz. She was wearing this golden Oscar like, as if she was going next door geographically, which would have been just around the corner from where they were, from what I understand, to Broadway, where, you know, imagine if she would have been on Broadway, like I said in my last video, she would have had the red carpet waiting for her. She was dressed as if she was going to the Oscars in Los Angeles with the red carpet. There was no red carpet. There was a Hertz car rental place matching her dress, the golden dress, which was shaped as if she were a mermaid, also due to the fact that her very skinny legs looked more like a tail. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not shaming anybody. We all have different legs. We all have different waists. We all have different shapes. It's when somebody is actually talking badly about other people, then I have the right to say my opinions on what I see, as if they were characters, as all my opinions on this channel are as if they were characters. So when she walks to this non-event, she was also trying to be the Little Mermaid. She already said it in I don't know how many interviews that she relates to the Little Mermaid. So that dress with those fishy bulbs on it, I don't know what you call those, looked like a dress of a mermaid and an Oscar mixed together. That's what it looked like, putting herself in what she's never able to achieve. So she could never do the role. She could never get an Oscar because she's not an actress that's equipped with acting craft and tools to be able to act. So there's another poke at Princess Catherine That's what I wanted to say. In The Little Mermaid, when the prince is trying to figure out the name of the mermaid and she can't speak, so he takes a few guesses, and the first guess is, are you Diana? No. Is your name Diana? No. Normal reaction to that, no, it's not. Is your name Catherine? Oh, oh. The response of the Little Mermaid is no. Oh, oh. Oh, oh, as if you were the worst name. I mean, what does it take for somebody to have to make fun of someone else time and again, time and again, time and again? And that brings me, I know it's not exactly the same thing, but I think it was Oscar Wilde who said, imitation is the best way of flattery, or something like that. Imitation. The proverb, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery that mediocrity can pay to greatness. Oh, I didn't even know it was so profound. One more time. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery that mediocrity can pay to greatness. I know this is not an imitation, but all these references to Princess Catherine are very close to what imitation would be. For the series Citadel, who has in it one of the actress who's one of Meghan Markle's friend, Priyanka Chopra, like I said, and then Disney with the movie The Little Mermaid is pretty much what I just read. Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde is the same writer who wrote one of the plays that I talk about in one of my previous videos, Salome, the play that Al Pacino was in. The person who played Salome was Jessica Chastain at the time before she was famous, and that was the play that got her to become who she is today. And she thanks Al Pacino, she thanks that play for having people be interested in her and offering her auditions after that. To read that mediocrity, the mediocre people are the ones who are imitating greatness. The imitation or the mockery, constant reminder they assume is in a negative light about Princess Catherine is actually out of jealousy. It's out of feeling inadequate without even being able to admit to themselves that that's the truth. You know, that's why they go with their truths, because the real truth is too much to admit. If Meghan Markle and Prince Harry were to really admit the truth, they would need to have a lot of support around them, because it's really, really a lot to take into consideration of what they've done to others, but most importantly, to what they've done to themselves. For somebody to be able to damage the reputation, talk about people being their worst enemy. I have never seen worse enemies to themselves than these two. From where they were 5 years ago, a few days ago, they were celebrating the anniversary since their wedding, since their royal celebration of their coming together. 5 years later, half a decade, they're so low what they've made of themselves. It's incredible. It's incredible to watch. You know, I bet if Priyanka Chopra believed her friend Meghan Markle was all of who she thinks she is, being they are good friends, she would have asked her to do a role in her Citadel series on Amazon. Why isn't Meghan doing that? Or Gayle King, again. Gayle King is the one that's always protecting them, and now she's coming up with a new protection of Meghan and Harry. How can people not take seriously the chase, the near catastrophic chase that happened never in Manhattan that was actually put together by them and their security guards playing their tune. And I wonder, somebody was asking on a different channel, and somebody was saying, I wonder why Gail is doing that. I think they're all wanting to be part of the royal. They want to have links to royalty because, you know, as any of us, we're all from, majority of us, I mean, I don't know, I'm from very humble background. I'm a mere teacher of acting, mere mortal, as somebody once said to me, in the nicest way possible. It wasn't meant as a negative comment. But I'm sure that for King, Gail King and Oprah, no matter how much money you have and no matter what opportunities Oprah has created for Gail King for so many years, you have to think about it. Gail King has tried so hard to make a name for herself. And even with the best friend, we don't know everything that's happening there besides that. That's how much they want to tell us. And I have nothing to add, but I'm just saying she's been pushing her best friend for so long to try to give her a career. If anybody in my life would have given me the opportunity that Gail had, if anybody would have given me the opportunity that Prince Harry is given to Meghan, you would think that you would actually cherish those and be able to understand people and be more an observer of details in different circumstances and events. I guess no matter how much you get advanced in your career, no matter the success financially that you have, being part of the royal entourage, no matter that, you know, Meghan and Prince Harry are not working royals, but in Montecito, close to where Oprah lives and where Gail seems to spend a lot of time in the Oprah company, they're still considered to be royals in their eyes. So to have that proximity to the prince, to the Duke and Duchesses of Montecito, is something that's making them temporarily satisfied. You still need to be satisfied, even if you get to their level of financial status. As human beings, we want something else. We want something else, satisfaction, temporary satisfaction. And I just think that that's the reason, because they want to be around, they want to surround themselves with that. Especially, like I said, if she's going to start their show on CNN with Charles Barkley, the basketball player, ex-basketball player, this show that's supposed to be with Gail King and Charles Barkley, King Charles, and they're going to talk. They're going to do a show on CNN. Gail, you have a show on CBS. Stay there. It's enough. You have one. Let somebody else take the second one. Please, please give a chance to somebody else, the same way that Oprah was promoting you and she was trying to push you forward. Please do the same thing for somebody else. There will be some service. If you want to talk about service, the same way that Meghan Markle was giving the speech at the non-event with the non-award, it's as if I would stand up in my own house and I would bring this statue that I have of the two faces of theater, the tragedy and the comedy, and I would hold it up and I would do a rehearsal, or I would do a private moment, which actors do. Imagine myself winning an Oscar. I would imagine myself winning an Emmy. I would imagine myself giving a speech. That's a private moment that I could do. But that's where the reality comes in, because I would know that I was doing a private moment. I would know that the award is not an Oscar award. I would know that it's not an Emmy award, or it's not a Tony award. But in her mind, she is trying to make us believe what she believes, what she wants to believe, what she's trying to convince to believe. The Hertz Car Award, it was Hertz Car Rental that gave her the award. That would have been much more practical. I would have applauded her much more if she actually got an award from this rental company of cars, because she would actually be in reality. She wouldn't be in the very dangerous area between reality and fiction, when you don't know when one ends and when the other begins. If she were to accept the Hertz Award for the best car of the year and she was promoting that, it would be more acceptable, because at least she would be a human with a decent understanding of reality rather than dress as an Oscar and as a mermaid and produce a car race in Manhattan when the only cars that were racing were the posters of the rental company Hertz. Everything else was stationary. The cars were stationary. They had to be the ones to move from one car to the other to produce some movement for the photographers, for the paparazzi to be able to see them. So they were trying to reveal themselves to the paparazzi because the paparazzi didn't care as much as they wanted them to care. If they wanted to be private, they could have left through the back door, from what everybody's saying. Security of Barack Obama, he's considered to be the king of back exit doors. No, they wanted to be coming out through the Hertz entrance, the same way that they went in, they wanted to come out because Meghan wanted to have that picture, the same as Marilyn Monroe would do. Try this at home. I want you guys to try this and let me know what you think about this. If you look at one of the pictures when she's coming out with Prince Harry, the photographers are there. When they opted to go that way because they wanted to have their photographs taken. There's a picture of her. I mean, besides all the ones where she has this like smile on, so happy. Her face cannot even be pulled back of how happy she is to be seen and to be having her pictures taken, to feel relevant again after not being invited to the coronation, not going to the coronation, not being invited to the coronation. This has to do again with Princess Catherine, from what I'm hearing, from what everybody's saying. She was the one who said, no, I do not want her. So I'm so glad. The one thing that I'm glad about what's happening with Princess Catherine is that she seems to take reins of her own powerful position that she has while still remaining a decent human being to demand, going back to the demand, we demand all of the footage as if I were in the ex-communist Romania, my country, where we had to salute. She seems to be having a lot more power. She's being put in these situations where she has to protect herself. She has to protect her family, her children. So I love that she's so determined and she's so strong. What was I saying? Oh, this is what I want to say. You got to try this at home. If I don't understand something from just listening to the words of what other people are saying, the behavior, the physical behavior is what gives away everything. There's one picture, the one picture where she's kind of hiding. Prince Harry has her hand, Meghan's hand in his hand, the way they're coming out from Hertz after having won the award for the best motor vehicle of the year. He takes her by the hand or like this, and she kind of hides. She holds Prince Harry's hand, but then she kind of hides like this. There's a picture being taken where she's hiding herself with a smile on her face. If you physically actually do that in your body, you stand up. I'm sitting because I don't want to get myself out of frame, but if I'm doing that, I already feel what she must have been feeling. She was probably going, oh my God, this is what I've always wanted. I am at the top right now. In comparison to where she started, with all of the talent that she lacks, this is a huge thing. I mean, come on, it's a huge thing. Even if it was another award that was inside the Hertz, this reminds me of the near to near catastrophic. It's almost like she got the award from the place that was near to Hertz rental, that was near to the Broadway big stage, where she wished that Duchess title of hers, the Duchess, that was for this non-award, she wished that was next door, just a few blocks over. So they had to make up a story that was worthy of Broadway. Come on, Broadway is the biggest stage in the world. They had to create a bigger purchase than the Hertz Award. They had to. But if you look at that picture, the one that I'm talking about, it's almost like she's posing, trying to be naive and innocent, the same way that she puts on the persona, wanting the people to see her as this innocent, not know anything about the royals before she married Prince Harry. If you do that pose, you will see how fake it is. That's how you will see how fake it is. That's how you know that's a pretend. That's how majority of us who are talking about it, and majority of you out there, know that's a pretend. People can see pretend. People can see pretend unless they're really, really mediocre. If they're really, really mediocre, which is the opposite of understanding details, then you have to pay attention more, pay attention to the observer part of you so you can understand these subtleties, details. If you just try, even for those supporters out there of Meghan and Prince Harry, you should try that. Try that pose behind Prince Harry with the photographers catching her while she's trying to hide, but at the same time, she's not really. She feels the flashes of the cameras. She wants to be like Marilyn Monroe. She signed with the same talent agency Marilyn Monroe was represented by. Ay, Dios mío. What are they going to do with her? I mean, they have to keep fabricating these car chases. From what I'm seeing, there's another one that's called the Gracie Award, which I don't know what that's going to be for. Maybe that's going to be for the best satire Hertz car chase. That could be an award. I mean, that would be even more detailed than just the general acceptance of an award on a stage where nobody was covering it from the news organizations. Nobody would have known. There was one photographer, from what I understand, unless they came out and they created this whole scenario. What I love the most about the response, I started with the we demand all the footage be given over to us. We demand it. And their response was so smart. I was laughing, so smart and sarcastic. Okay. In response, Backgrid replied with the letter of their own, and the letter goes, in America, as I am sure you know, property belongs to the owner of it. Third parties cannot just demand it be given to them, as perhaps kings can do. Perhaps you should sit down with your client and advise them that his English rules of royal prerogative to demand that the citizen hand over their property to the crown were rejected by this country long ago. We stand by our founding fathers. Finishing with a salute to democracy. It starts with a salute to dictatorship. We demand to salute to our founding fathers. I love this jacket. It just matches this episode. Talk about the award. Here's a meaningful award, just to make the comparison. Okay, this is what an award is. And this is why probably Queen Elizabeth II, before she died, she was so nice welcoming Meghan into the royal family. Well, without the story, she was such an insightful observer on top of a great queen for so many years, but she was so insightful to have said something about, I can see, I can read through this woman. Oh, there's evil, something like that. I can't even compare. Queen Elizabeth II was such a better actress. Meghan Markle is not an actress. I keep going there because she's brainwashed me too. I compare her to what it's like to be a great actress and a bad actress. She's not just a bad actress, she's a B-list celebrity. I'm wondering, Meghan couldn't even have conversations with Queen Elizabeth II about Queen Elizabeth II's performance. Do you remember in the Paddington Bears tea with the Queen wins memorable moment, BAFTA TV Awards, Paddington Bears Unexpected Tea with the late Queen Elizabeth II during the Platinum Jubilee celebration. That was such a funny bit, and Queen Elizabeth II, may God rest her soul in peace, was so good. She understood what it is to have comedic timing. She understood what it is to take yourself not too seriously. She understood all of that. BAFTA award for that moment, considered to be one of the memorable moments. Meghan, if she knew nothing about the royal family like she insists, when she's also caught with lying about that, I don't even understand, why couldn't she talk to the late Queen, or why couldn't she talk to Prince Charles, now King Charles, or Prince Edward? Why couldn't she talk to them about theater and acting? I wonder if she did. I don't think she did, because they might have asked her some questions about Shakespeare. King Charles recites Shakespeare monologues from so many characters. Prince Edward, one of his passion was theater for a long time. He took it in school, attempted to be an actor. I wonder if she was afraid to even have these conversations because she doesn't have any understanding of the craft of acting. Yeah, so I think that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching this episode. And you guys, please subscribe, like, share. I get so many wonderful comments from a few people who get to see my videos by accident. And they all ask the same questions. They say, how come you don't have gazillions of people who followers? And I say the same thing. Not to sound arrogant, but even if I do sound arrogant, at least I'm saying it. I'm putting it out there and I'm saying it with the risk of being arrogant. It's one thing to say the reality of what you think and then to be humble about it and let the audience know that that's what you're thinking, than to pretend and to fabricate and to manipulate. Thank you so much.